Good morning, everybody. I know this looks super exciting, but we're gonna do something a little simple today. So we're gonna sail on a Pelican kayak, and we're gonna do that with this little sail attachment you see here, right in the cargo area. If you've seen some of our other videos, you probably remember that we actually tested this kayak with the electric motor. It was a lot of fun. We also had a SCP racing race on pedal board, so we attached the sails, those little sails, to the pedal board, and that was a lot of fun too. If you haven't seen them, check it out. But basically, what we're going to use here is this $18 sail attachment we got from Amazon, and it comes this nice little package here. I'm going to be honest, as soon as we unpacked the thing, it was a little difficult to pull it back into the same case. So, you kind of have to improvise on how to store it. But I think we tried. One of them actually broken us, so it is. But it is a little bit of a not as sturdy as some other things on the market. But it was pretty cheap, and it is it is a lot of fun. So we're gonna try this in this kayak. We do want to install any extra hardware on the kayak, so we use this Pelican label here. The screws are actually used for Pelican label to attach some of the clamps that we're gonna clamp our sail attachment to. It is a little tricky to attach at first, but once you get hang of it, it's not that bad at all. But as soon as you attach it, the thing picks up some wind there, you can tell. So let's see how much fun is it going to be in the water. That's going to be the actual test. Now the trick is not to let it fall off the board, because we had it happen a few times. I didn't really film it, but basically when it falls off the board, it picks up water, and then it's kind of hard to pick it back up. So just be aware of that. But other than that, it seems to be pretty easy to install and pretty easy to use. So let's see. Let's try and catch some wind and see what happens. Now the wind is all over the place today. But we're gonna, and it's not as strong as it usual, as it usually is. But we're gonna, see how it goes. I mean, but it seems to be picking up some wind, so that's a good thing. So the trick here is to hang on to the sail and make sure it doesn't fall down into the water, because, like I stated before, it is a little tough to extract from the water, especially when you're somewhere in the middle of the sound. But I'm gonna try to maneuver here. As you can tell, I'm trying to kind of turn a little bit, and it does seem to work. I'm trying to go around this pedal board that you're gonna see here on the right, and it does seem to work pretty well. Of course, it's not as good as the actual sailboat, but it does work. You can actually do a couple of maneuvers here. So far, we're doing good. We're actually sailing across the shore. The wind is helping us a little bit here. The only thing I would say, like at least in our area here, the wind changed directions a lot, and sometimes you can find yourself, using the pedal. So the trick is, we started off doing it with placing the pedal across the kayak, but you don't want that pedal to fall down, and especially to fall into the water when you can't extract it, because if you lose that wind and you don't have a pedal, you're going to be stranded out there. So one thing to keep in mind, I usually keep the pedal in the middle here, and I'm securing with my legs a bit, and that seems to work. We don't have a steering mechanism like the regular sailboat would have, so I actually improvise using my leg a little bit to turn, and most of the time it works. So combination of the sail attachment and my leg, it does seem to help me steer in the right direction. But sometimes you do have to use the pedal, and that's when it gets a little tricky, because you kind of have to hang on to the sail attachment, and you have a pedal in your hand trying to maneuver. So but it's definitely doable. I mean, there's probably other innovative ways to create like a turning mechanism here on the kayak, and I've seen a couple of them out there. I just haven't gotten around to try to install one there. Plus, we wanted to test the sail attachment in with the kayak from natural state. But it is helpful. Let's say if you're if you're far away from your launch destination, this sail can actually get you back to where you started from with a good amount of wind, of course. and you can get back pretty easily, and it's a lot of fun. So overall, I think this sail attachment performed way better on the kayak than on the inflatable paddleboard, because the inflatable paddleboard is a little more responsive to the wind, but it kind of sits above the water. But honestly, this sail attachment for an $18 item from Amazon, it's a lot of fun, and it's a good way to kind of enjoy the water in a different way. Well, thank you so much for watching. Until next time.